All right, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick video on full self-drive in my 26 Model Y Performance. It does do a much better job than my 2021 Model Y Performance, which is currently still running a version 13 software with regards to full self-drive. This one is currently on 20.25.45.6, and then the full self-drive software is 14.2.2.1. Did receive that update after about 3 days of ownership overnight. I think it was starting to go out widely to the 26 Model Y Performance. Interesting thing about this current version as compared to the previous, we no longer have the ability to adjust max speed, which is not terribly problematic as long as you're paying extremely close attention. But what I've found in my commute is that often there's either a change in speed limit and I don't catch it, and it still misses a speed limit sign, and it continues to drive the speed of, whatever the max is set in standard, which tends to be about 6 to 7 miles an hour over the set speed limit that it has displayed in the indicator, which it obviously picks up from the road signs. Here in Oklahoma, where I live, law enforcement is pretty lenient up to about 5 miles an hour over. Anything above that depends on your driving record. If you're somebody who has tickets on your record, they're probably going to give you a ticket. I'm fortunate I haven't had a ticket in 20 or 30 years. Not to say that I haven't been pulled over, but they've all been extremely nice, giving me a warning, and I haven't received a ticket. But I also have the luxury of having a sticker on the front windshield of my car that says I am a healthcare provider and work at a hospital system, and I think there is to some degree some leniency with EMS personnel in their personal vehicle as well as providers. Whether that's fair to the rest of the individuals who drive on the road, maybe not, but it seems to be opens the friendly door, let's put it that way. I'm going to flip my camera around for just a second, and we're going to talk just a little bit about the different modes. So in full self-drive, you'll notice the speed limit is 65 miles an hour currently. Going 65, I'm in chill mode. I have seen chill go 1 to 2 miles an hour over. It seems to depend on the surrounding traffic, like it's trying to keep up with the generalized movement of traffic around you. This stretch of highway is 65, and it does a pretty good job holding around that speed limit. As you can see now, we're 64. We are going up a slight incline, 63. So it's not doing the best job of holding that 65. I've seen it drop all the way down to 61 or 62 in chill mode. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If I change this to standard, which I've never used sloth, so I don't know how slow it goes in sloth, but in standard, you'll notice it immediately speeds up from 65, and it'll probably settle in around 71, 72 miles an hour. So on the average, 6, I think, to 7 miles per hour. It's doing a pretty good job at keeping it at 5 right now, but that has not been my experience so far. It's usually around 6 to 7 miles an hour over the set speed limit. It's making a liar out of me at the moment, but that's okay. I have also not utilized Hurry or Mad Max other than to trial it just for a few seconds. I will tell you that in Mad Max, it was 11 miles an hour over the set speed limit. It was pretty aggressive in changing lanes. It was weaving back and forth quite a bit, but there was a lot more traffic at that time during my commute. Right now, you can see we're 10 miles an hour over, and maybe still climbing just a little bit. Yeah, there's 11 over. And this is in hurry mode. So Mad Max was about the same when I tried it, but it did change lanes more frequently, but there was more traffic. I'm gonna go back to standard just because I don't want to get pulled over. I'm gonna flip my camera back around. So the problem is we can't set a max speed limit, which as far as Tesla is concerned, it seems like that's not a concern. I think that has to do with their plan for the robo-taxi and, the use of the, very minimalistic Model Y for rideshare and so forth. I think they don't, in the full self-drive software, which will probably be the same for the most part in those vehicles, they don't want to have to worry about it. They just want a speed variance, and they'll just let the car do what it does. Myself personally, on my commute this morning, I literally just passed a local PD setting in the median between the highways. I was going 7 over because I was in standard mode. The good news is he did not pull me over. He did look the other way. He didn't have any concerns, but that's not been my experience. In the last 2 to 3 years, I will tell you I have been stopped probably 4 times minimum, maybe one more, maybe 5 times. One, I was going 7 over, stopped by Oklahoma Highway Patrol. This was actually on Christmas Day. I was working in one of our clinics over the holiday, and he politely said, you know, hey, we've been told over the holidays with holiday travel, anybody going 5 over, pull them over. Fortunately, he just gave me a courtesy warning, sent me on my way. I appreciate law enforcement for everything they do, keeping the highway safe, but it was good that I didn't get a ticket. We're coming up on another area where I also got stopped. It is a transition of speed from 65 miles an hour down to 55 miles an hour on this highway. There's a small town and a small school in this area, so I think they dropped the speed limit because of the school. It's just sitting off the highway. Sometimes the car does not pick up speed limit. You know, it doesn't notice that it goes from 65 down to 55. And I'm gonna flip my camera back around for a second. You'll notice right now, again, we're at 65 for the speed limit, which is accurate for this stretch of road, and it's currently driving 71, 72 miles an hour. So again, roughly 6 to 7 miles an hour over. I think if you get pulled over here with that speed, as long as you don't have a big history of tickets on your record, probably not going to get you a ticket, but probably a warning, and you'll likely get pulled over. You know, if you have tickets on your record, they're probably not going to give you a lot of, you know, they're not going to cut you much slack. You're not going to have leniency. So this seems to be an issue with the new full self-drive because I can't set a maximum. Therefore, you know, I can't make it stay under what I know will likely not cause me to get stopped. The inconvenience and the hassle of that delay on my commute. So I have to watch it very closely. I do notice and catch it where it will be doing well over that 5 mile an hour mark in standard. I personally think chill might ought to be the speed limit. Standard might be 5 over, and then hurry, maybe that's your 7, and Mad Max is the 10 over. I don't know if Tesla is listening to people's input regarding that, but it is somewhat of a concern. I really feel like they should address this. Obviously, because they put supervised in your box when you click the check mark you're accepting it, they put any ticket you might get for being pulled over on you. Here is one of those areas. The speed limit you can see just transitioned to 55. I'm currently going 66. I'm in standard mode. This will get me pulled over in this stretch, and there is very often a local sheriff that sits at the top of this stretch of road, people over constantly. I have met him. I've met 2 different ones in this particular stretch. One of them pulled me over because he thought I was flashing my headlights at oncoming traffic to let him know that he was sitting here. Absolutely was not doing that. In fact, I don't ever touch my headlights. The car does it all. You know, I'm sure it was doing what it does based on auto headlights for oncoming traffic. But, you know, I told him, I said, this car's so automated, it was driving, I don't even touch the headlights. And he said, well, what kind of car is this? And I told him, and he let me go with a warning. He just didn't appreciate it if he thought that's what I was doing. You'll notice now it has, I put it back in chill mode, and I'm doing 57, which is safe through this stretch. So you have to be on top of watching it, or there's a good possibility you might get pulled over. You might get a ticket, you might not. So is this full self-drive going to cost you some extra money? It's possible. You know, we all either pay for it up front or pay for it monthly. I don't need any additional fees tacked on to the top of that. So I just thought I'd touch on this morning. Hopefully Tesla's paying attention. If you've experienced a different scenario when you're using full self-drive and don't have any of the variances that are so wide that I'm seeing, drop me a comment below. You know, if you agree with me that you think Tesla should address this, drop a comment down there. I'm sure Tesla doesn't look at my YouTube feed, but maybe if enough of us start complaining, maybe they'll put that max speed back up.
Tollgate Road.
Apologize, navigation's talking there. But I'm gonna get off here, finish my commute. You guys have a great day, and I hope that, you know, whatever the new year brings for you, it is better than the last year. We'll talk soon, and as I get a little more experience with this new Model Y performance, I'll kind of post videos on quirks and things that, you know, are different than my previous model. So have a good day, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, bye-bye.